everybody, my name is Alicia and I'm here today for your chair yoga class. We'll do some things seated in the chair. We'll see some options for standing, and we'll be stretching out through the shoulders, we'll be stretching out through the legs, and hopefully you'll be feeling pretty good by the time we're finished. So you can get your chair set up, a sturdy chair, yoga mat so that it doesn't slide, and sitting near the front of the chair, feet flat on the floor. If your knees are higher than your hips, put something on the chair to sit on, a folded blanket or something. And if your knees are lower than your hips, put something underneath your feet. And getting yourself a couple of wiggles before settling in. You can close your eyes if you like, or you could keep your eyes open and maybe eyes look slightly downward towards something on the floor. Soft eyes, soft breath. And taking a few slow, deep breaths. You can allow your breath to move at its natural pattern now. So for the moment, nothing specific about the breath. Short reading from Pema Chodron's book, Comfortable with Uncertainty. And this reading is entitled Cultivating the Four Limitless Qualities. A teacher once told me that if I wanted lasting happiness, the only way to get it was to step out of my cocoon. When I asked her how to bring happiness to others, she said, same instruction. This is the reason that I work with the aspiration practices of the four limitless qualities of loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. The best way to serve ourselves is to love and care for others. These are powerful tools for dissolving the barriers that perpetuate the suffering of all beings. It is best to do sitting meditation before and after these practices. To begin, we start just where we are. We connect with the place where we currently feel loving kindness, compassion, joy, or equanimity, however limited it may be. You can even make a list of people or animals who inspire these feelings in you. We aspire that ourselves and our loved ones could enjoy the quality we are practicing. Then we gradually extend that aspiration to a widening circle of relationships. First, we wish for ourselves one of the four limitless qualities. May I enjoy loving kindness. Then we include a loved one in the aspiration. May you enjoy loving kindness. We then extend our wish to all sentient beings. May all beings enjoy loving kindness. For compassion, may I be free from suffering and the root of suffering. May you be free of suffering and the root of suffering. May all beings be free of suffering and the root of suffering. The aspiration practices of the four limitless qualities train us in not only holding back, in seeing our biases and not feeding them. Gradually, we will get the hang of going beyond our fear of feeling pain. This is what it takes to become involved with the sorrows of the world, to extend loving kindness and compassion, joy and equanimity to everyone, no exceptions. We'll take a couple more breaths here and maybe work with that first phrase, may I enjoy loving kindness. And you can just repeat that a few times to yourself, sending that wish deep into your being. You can open your eyes if they're closed, and sitting tall into your chair, we're going to take the shoulders up towards the ears and roll them back behind us a few times just like that. So you can let your arms go along for the ride if you like, or hands could stay resting on the legs, and more of the elbows and the shoulders are moving. Whatever feels good to you. Take it slow. Feel those tight places that we all have in our shoulders, and see if we can loosen them a bit. And then coming back to neutral, right arm goes out to the side, thumb turns down towards the floor, and we bring the back of the hand to the back of your pelvis, so pretty low, a little lower than the low back. Press your hand into your back, sit up nice and tall into your chair, and then leaning your head over to the left. A couple of slow breaths here, and noticing the difference when you press the hand harder into your back or press the hand more gently into the back. It changes the stretch in your neck. And now rotate your head to look down toward your left elbow and have another couple of breaths here. Head comes back to center, back up onto the spine, and we'll release the right arm, and we're going to make a couple of big circles with the right arm. So right arm comes forward, up, and goes back a couple of times, just like that. And then we'll move to the left arm. Left arm out to the left, thumb turns down towards the floor, back of the hand comes to the back of the pelvis, and we give a little press there, lengthening up through the spine and leaning the head over to the right. Few breaths here, encouraging spaciousness and letting go in the left shoulder and the left side of your neck. Rotate your head and look down toward your right elbow, and another few slow breaths. Head comes back up to center, back onto the spine, and then releasing the left arm, a couple of big circles. Arm comes forward, up and back. Getting some more tension out of the shoulder and the neck. And then we're back to center. From here, hands slide out to the kneecaps, and torso leans forward. For some of us, this is a great place to stay. So we're just leaning a little bit forward, and we're thinking about lengthening through the whole torso. You could also bring your forearms down to your thighs. Hands can press together. And so we're folded a little bit more in this version. And this is also a great place to stay. You could lean a little more forward, arms come to the insides or to the outsides of the legs, and head can relax, neck can relax, and we'll have a few breaths here. You can always come back up to one of the other versions if you find yourself a little too deeply in the pose. Another breath or two here, thinking about lengthening through your spine, lengthening through your neck. Forearms come back to the thighs if they're not already there. Hands press into the thighs, and we use the strength of the arms to bring ourselves back upright. We're going to take the right arm out to the right, left hand onto the left hip. So right arm comes up by the ear, left hand on the left hip. We're going to lean over to the left. You don't have to go very far. Go to a place where you feel a stretch and can still breathe easily. Come back up to center, and we'll switch sides. Right hand onto the right hip, left arm comes up alongside of the ear, and we lean over to the right. And we'll come back to center. Hands rest on the thighs. You could close your eyes for a moment and just notice how your upper body is feeling. From here, we're going to make a wide V with the legs. You could be resting on the heels, could hold on to the seat of the chair just for stability. Make sure that you feel stable on the chair. Left hand is going to stay holding onto the chair seat, and the right arm is going to slide a little down the right leg. If this all feels stable, left hand could move to the left hip. If that all feels stable, left arm could come up alongside of the ear, and we're leaning over towards the right leg. A few breaths here. You can press heels strongly into the floor, lengthen through your whole torso and spine. At any point, hand could come back to holding onto the chair seat. We're going to take one more breath. Coming back up, holding on to the chair seat with both hands. You can press your hands down into the chair seat and lengthen up through your spine. Left hand starts to slide down the left leg, still holding on to the chair seat with the right hand. And if that feels stable, right hand could move to the right hip, and maybe we lean a little more over to the left. All of this depending on how it works for you and how it feels in your body. And if all that's going fine, right arm could come up alongside of the ear, and we're leaning over toward the left leg. A few breaths. Coming back up, we're gonna bring one leg in, bring the other leg in, and then giving the feet a bounce. Resetting our seat in the chair, and I'll remind you that if any of these poses don't work for you, feel free to sit out and join back in when something does work for you. From here, we're gonna extend both legs forward. You could be on the heels. Some feet might be comfortable pointing toes down towards the floor and letting toes rest on the floor. So whatever works for you. Hands onto the seat of the chair. Press down with your hands to lengthen up through your spine. From here, torso leans forward, and just go a little bit forward. We can stay holding on to the chair seat. We might reach back and take hold of the sides of the chair so that the arms are back a little farther. If all of that feels really stable, we could slide both hands down the legs, down the fronts of the legs, to take this straight leg forward bend. Remember, you don't have to fold very far, just fold to where you feel a bit of stretch in the backs of your legs, a bit of stretch in your low back, maybe other parts of the back as well. And taking another couple of breaths here. We'll slide ourselves back upright. Bring one foot back to the floor, hold on to the chair seat, other foot comes back to the floor. And then hands come onto the thighs, and we pause again to notice now some different feelings in the lower half of the body. We're going to twist now to the right. So we'll start to turn the upper body to the right. Right arm can come around to drape across the back of the chair, or the right arm could sneak to the inside of the back of the chair and perhaps hold on to the seat. Left hand reaches across to the right leg. We make a very long spine. We take a very deep breath. And then we see if there's any more twist left for us. So the belly turns, the rib cage turns, maybe the upper chest turns, and perhaps even the head turns. Head could always stay in neutral if that's best for your neck. A few breaths here. We'll rotate back to center and pause there a moment. And now we twist to the left. Left arm can drape across the back of the chair or reach in and hold on to the chair seat. Right arm comes across. We get very tall and long through the spine. And then we see about twisting to the left. Nothing forced, so staying a little bit soft. You may choose to turn your head and look over your left shoulder, or maybe you keep your head right in neutral, chin in line with the sternum. A few breaths here. And then we come back to center, and we'll pause here for a moment. You can always wiggle or roll the shoulders anytime you need to. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. From here, we're going to shift a little to the left, and then open the right leg out to the right. So a lot of the right thigh will be supported by the chair, and you can kind of keep sliding a little to the left depending on how that works for you. Left leg is going to work its way a little straighter, kind of at a diagonal. You could come up onto the heel of that foot. We're going to press down through the feet, press down through the heel. Take the arms up to a T. Try to turn your torso a bit more forward, but turn your head and look over the right fingertips. This is our seated version of Warrior 2. And so in a few moments we'll do a standing version of Warrior 2. But you're always welcome to keep this seated version instead. A few breaths, reach the arms, press the legs down. Now we're going to lean a little over to the right, and the right hand could come onto the right knee. We'll take the left hand to the hip for the moment. So we're leaning a little right, and it could just be that the hand stays there on the knee. Maybe there's enough room for you to lean over onto your forearm or your elbow into the thigh there. Maybe you even slide your right hand to a little down the inside of the right leg, or perhaps a little down the outside of the right leg, but make it work for you. Left hand could stay on the left hip, or the left arm could come up and over the ear, alongside of the ear, and we've got now a seated version of extended angle pose. We'll take a few breaths here, and again, we'll do this in a standing version in a few moments, but remember, you can come back to this seated version if it works better for you. Another breath or two. And we come back upright. We're going to help the left leg back in, help the right leg back in. Shift yourself back to the center of the chair and pause. Now we're going to shift ourselves a little to the right so that when we open out the left leg out to the left, a good part of the thigh is supported by the chair. Right leg is going to extend, and this extension actually could be optional. So if it doesn't work very well to extend the leg, you could keep that knee bent. Press down through your heel, press down through your foot, lengthen up through your spine. Turn your torso forward, arms come up to a wide T, and we look out over the fingertips of the left hand. Again, this is our Warrior 2 seated version. Trying to keep the shoulders over the hips. We'll lean over to the left in a few moments, but for now, keeping shoulders about in line with the hips, checking out the T of your arms, and taking another few breaths. The left hand comes to the left leg and right hand to the right hip, and we lean a little to the left. This could be where you stay. You might also bring your forearm down onto your thigh, or if there's enough space, left arm slides a little down the inside or the outside of the left leg. Again, finding a place that feels like a good stretch and that you can still have a nice deep breath. Right arm comes up and over the ear. You can press your forearm into your thigh if that's where it is, or press your hand into your leg. Reach long through this whole right side. This is our seated extended angle pose. A few breaths here. We'll come back upright, helping one leg, and then helping the other leg back in. Recenter yourself on the chair, leaning forward into our forward bend. Maybe it's just the hands on the kneecaps and you lean forward. Maybe forearms come down to the thighs. Maybe arms come to the insides or the outsides of the legs and you fold over a little more deeply. It's up to you, whatever works for your body. Take a few breaths. Slowly coming back up. Both arms go out to the sides, reaching up, inhaling. And then exhaling, arms come down, hands rest on the thighs, and we pause here a moment. We're going to come up to standing, so take your time. We're going to move the chair towards one end of the mat. Or all 4 feet on the mat is a good idea. And then we're going to stand in mountain pose just behind the chair. Fingertips or palms of the hands could rest on the chair back to help to steady you. You can look down at your feet a few inches apart or maybe wider, somewhere that you feel stable. Maybe closer together feels stable to you as well. A couple of breaths here, thinking about lengthening up through the crown of your head and anchoring down through your feet and legs. We're going to take a couple of shoulder stretches here. Right hand, the back of your right hand slides across the back of your waist to tuck that arm a little bit behind you, and then the right shoulder rolls back just a little bit. You can stay here, left hand on the chair, keeping you steady. Or if it works, you can take the left back of the left hand, slide it across the back of your waist as well, holding on to opposite elbows or opposite forearms, whatever you have access to behind you. A couple of breaths here, and we'll have the opportunity to switch. So notice which of your arms is on top and which arm is on bottom if you're doing both arms. We'll take one more breath here. And then we're going to release the arms, roll the shoulders up and back behind us. Both hands come back to the back of the chair, and if you're just doing the one hand at a time, one arm at a time, back of the left hand slides across the back of the waist. It comes to wherever it comes to, and we roll the left shoulder back slightly. Then the back of the right hand comes across if you're doing both, and then you can notice which arm was on top previously. Maybe it's on top, switched this time. And we'll stand up nice and tall. Shoulders roll back, chest lifts slightly, tailbone still anchors down towards the earth. Another breath or two here. And then releasing arms. Hands can come back to the chair to steady you, and we'll roll the shoulders up towards the ears and back behind us. Pause a moment. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And then turning yourself so that the chair is to your right side. I have my right hand on the chair so it helps me to be stable. I'm going to stand up tall for a moment and take a deep breath. And then I'm stepping the feet wide apart, whatever wide apart will work for you. The right leg is going to turn all the way out so the toes point towards the chair. And the left toes swing in a little bit too, so the left heel goes out slightly from the toes. From here, bending your right knee. Maybe it's over the heel, maybe it's slightly behind the heel, maybe it's more over the ankle. Right hand can stay on the chair, torso turns a little forward, away from the chair. And this is our standing version of Warrior Two. So if you remember, we were in a chair and we had a similar shape in the legs. We're going to take the left arm out to the left, give a look at it and see is it in line with the shoulders, and then we're going to turn our head back to center and over to the right. If this all is feeling very stable, right arm could lift up as well. We've got wide T arms. If not, right hand stays on the chair, and we have another breath or two. Left hand comes to the left hip. And we start to lean ourselves to the right. This is our standing extended angle. Right hand could stay on the chair back. Maybe the right fingertips come down to the chair seat. Maybe the forearm comes to the chair back, something like that. Whatever works. Left arm can come up and over the ear if that is a good placement for you. And you can turn your head in whatever direction would work best for your neck, but still thinking about keeping head in line with the spine. So imagine a bit of headrest for the back of your head. Another couple of breaths here. Two very strong legs and a long stretch through the upper body. We're going to bring the left hand back to the left hip. We're going to take the torso back up. Right hand can press the chair. Right leg straightens, right knee straightens. And then we pause here for a moment, a deep breath. Depending on where you are, you could turn yourself around so that the chair is now on your left side. Or you could move the chair over to the left side of the mat so that left hand is on the chair back. We'll stand in mountain pose for a moment. And then we'll step our feet wide apart, turning the left toes, the whole left leg turns towards the chair. Right toes turn in slightly so that that leg is turning as well. Right hand to the right hip and getting tall for a moment. And then bending your left knee. Maybe it's slightly behind the heel. Maybe it's over the heel. Maybe it's over the ankle. And if you feel like you want to take your feet a little wider, you could do that as well. From here, right arm stretches out to the right, and we'll turn and look for a moment to see that the right arm is about shoulder height. And then we will turn our heads over to the left. Left hand could stay on the chair. Left arm could lift up to make a wide T with the right arm. You can look towards the fingertips of the left hand. Could always bring the hand down and then maybe bring it back up, see what works. Another couple of breaths here, very strong pose. Left hand comes to the chair, right hand comes to the hip. And then we start to lean a little left, and maybe that's all that happens. We just lean a little left. Arm can come up alongside of the ear. Maybe we lean and take fingertips to the seat of the chair, or forearm to the back of the chair. And then the right arm can come up and over the ear if that works for you. Again, head at the in line with the spine at the top of the spine. Could be looking slightly down, could be looking forward, could turn and look up. Another few breaths here in our extended angle pose. Right hand comes back to the right hip. Torso starts to come up. You can press with your left hand on the chair. And then we're going to toe heel the feet a few times. Stepping back to our mountain pose, left hand on the chair. Can give the shoulders a roll. And then standing or sitting tall into your spine. Eyes could close a moment, noticing perhaps that we've done a good bit of work on both the upper half and the lower half of the body. From here, we're going to come back down to sit in the chair. Again, we'll sit towards the front of the chair, feet flat on the floor, hands rest on the thighs, and just allowing the body to settle a moment. Eyes could close or be looking down towards the floor. Bring your awareness to your breath, noticing what the inhale feels like, noticing what the exhale feels like. Notice how long your inhale is, counting. Maybe it's 3 or 4 or 5 counts. Notice the length of the exhale. It might be 3 or 4 or 5 counts. It might be the same as the inhale or different. Just noticing that for a few breaths. So count how long the inhale is, and then count how long the exhale is. The next time you breathe in, we're going to breathe in halfway. So if you counted to 4, you'll breathe in for 2 and pause. And then continue to breathe in 2 more. And then exhale all the way out. And so we're taking the inhale in halves. So we'll breathe in, pause, breathe in, and then long exhale. We'll do that a few times, breathing in and pausing. Still breathing in, and then long exhale. A few more of those on your own. Basically putting a pause about halfway through the inhale. And then we inhale fully, and then take a long exhale. One more of this pattern, breathing in halfway, breathing in the rest of the way, and then long exhale. Let your breath go back to its natural pattern. Notice if you feel any different. From here, we'll move to our final relaxation. If you're near a couch or a bed, you might lie down. You can stay in the chair, slide yourself back, lean on the chair back. Maybe there's a piece of furniture where you could put your feet up, or a pillow that you could put your feet up on, so that you can be relaxed in the chair. So you can find a way to place the arms, hands on the legs, so that the arms and shoulders are soft. You could close your eyes. We'll have just a short rest today, but of course you can stay after the video ends. You could stay in this relaxed place as long as you like. Notice the breath, and try not to control the breath. Let the breath move at a natural pattern. Invite the body to relax so the legs can kind of flop a little to the sides. Shoulders can be soft. Muscles of the face are soft. We might repeat a few times to ourselves silently, may I enjoy loving kindness. May I enjoy loving kindness. And sending feelings of loving kindness to yourself. Allowing a sense of loving kindness to be all through your body, all in the space around you. The essence of loving kindness everywhere we look. If you have extra time, please stay in your resting place, your relaxation. And if it's time for you to move on, take a couple of slower, deeper breaths. Just that, just a bit more inhale, a bit more exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes. You can blink the eyes open. You can give a stretch to arms and legs, can give a yawn or a sigh. You can bring yourself forward in the chair again so that we can sit tall. Hands can stay resting on your legs, or hands can come to heart center. And then we'll send that loving kindness to everyone. May all beings experience loving kindness. May all beings enjoy loving kindness. May loving kindness be all around us. May it be so. Thank you for joining me today. If you're able to donate, it's muchly appreciated. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a wonderful time.